Project workspaces are new to Dynamics AX. They are similar to role centers from previous versions. A workspace is a collection of tiles, menus, and information geared as the primary workspace for a specific role. The Project Management and Accounting module offers the Project Management workspace, which is focused towards project managers. Let's demonstrate some of the navigation within the Project Management and Accounting module. Specifically, we'll review the Project Manager workspace. We'll take a look at General Project Management navigation, and then we'll dive into the All Projects list page. And then finally, we'll jump into a project and look at a project's specific details. Okay. So what we're looking at here is the different workspaces which are in Dynamics AX. And just a note that I'm in the system as a system administrator, and that means I have full access to everything in AX. So that's why you're seeing so many different role centers. Normally when you're in AX, you'll only see your specific roles that are applicable to your security group. So anyways, what we're going to focus on here is the project management workspace, and you can see all these different workspaces are in alphabetical order, but I'll hover over to the project management workspace and we'll just jump in there and take a look. So the first thing that we note is that we have all the different tiles up here. So there's 3 tiles. There's all projects, which is when I select it, it's showing me the list of all the different projects here. If I go to the in planning, it's going to show me all projects that are in planning, and what in planning means are projects in a specific stage. And if I hit the drop down for stages, you can see there's a predefined filter. So created, estimated, or scheduled staged projects. And if I hop back, we can look at all different project templates as well. And I have one in there. But if we go look at the middle of the screen, we actually have a list of all in-process projects for our specific legal entity that we're in, which is USSI, if we look at the top right. And you can select those specific projects, and then you can jump to different information within those projects, such as the project invoice proposal or the work breakdown structure or the project statement. We'll just jump into the work breakdown structure so you can see how it jumps you into it. So there it is. If we hit back, just jump back into the workspace. You can create a new project from here as well, and then there's options on here too. Every form will have those generic options. Over on the right, we have different links that are available. So you can get to hours, journals, or any sort of journal. Invoice proposals, so you can look at in-process invoice proposals or posted invoice and then we have inquiries and reports that are specific to the PM role, and any setup menu that is PM specific. So if you want to set up cost prices or sales prices, or look at work breakdown, create a work breakdown structure template, or we'll look at them, or some of the parameters. This is the workflow parameters, and this is the generic project management and accounting parameters. So that's just a quick look at the workspace for project management. So let's get into some of the more traditional navigation within AX. First of all, if we click the Dynamics AX button up top, it'll bring you back to all your different workspaces. If we click on this hamburger button, it's called, it'll show the navigation pane. And if we look at the navigation pane, we have 4 different areas within it. So you can look at all your favorites, and you can see I have the all projects list page as a favorite. To mark something as a favorite, you just hover over it and select the star, and there it is. Recent is probably my favorite addition to this, to navigating, is because any recent form that you've been to just shows up in here, and if you really want to get to it fast, you just click the hamburger and go to recent and pick which one you want to go to. So very cool feature. You can see all the different workspaces, and then we have the modules. So if you want to go to AP, you can jump into any menu within the AP. And once again, I'm in a system administrator role, so I'm seeing a lot of stuff in here. So let's go to the project management and accounting module. And we can see we have the project management workspace if you want to jump into there. Or if you want to go to the other different menus within here, you have access to all of them. So you can see there's a lot of different groupings compared to the previous versions of AX, which is very nice. One area to call out is inquiries and reports is grouped together now, so they're not two separate folders or groupings. They're all mixed together. We have all our periodic routines and all our setup menus as well. So that's just a quick overview of navigating through the module. What we'll look at is the all projects list page real quick. And if we jump into the all projects list page, it's going to show us all projects that are for this specific legal entity at this point. Well, the cool thing about this list page is it's not just company specific. I know I'm in the USSI company, but if you want to look at projects for other companies, you have the ability. That's what this legal entity dropdown is for. So you can see that there are a few legal entities that I can select from. So if I pick this GB legal entity, if I select that, boom, now we have these GBSI legal entity projects within the list. If I select this, it'll show me all of them. So I'll just look at the USA ones. So now I'm back to where I was. So to configure this, there's actually a little bit of setup, because if you're familiar with the Contoso demo data, there's 10 plus legal entities within this data set. And you can see we only have, well, technically 5 within this, or 4 within this structure right here. To set this up, you have to be in the organization administration module. And what you need to do is create an organization hierarchy. And this Contoso consulting one is the one that was set up, and you can just select it and hit view, and it will show you, all right, you come in here and you add the legal entities that you want in the structure that you want. So you can see Contoso consulting is basically a consolidation company, and then we have 3 legal entities under it. So that's the hierarchy. So you just have to come in and set one of those up, and then the way that you can see those within in the project, all projects list page, is to add them to an organization hierarchy purpose. So if we jump into this form, this is basically an out-of-the-box list, so a non-customizable list here. They're system-defined values. There's one called project management, and you can see that Contoso consulting hierarchy that we just previously viewed is the default hierarchy within this purpose. So if I hit view the hierarchy, there's my list that's assigned to the purpose, and that's how we're getting that hierarchy assigned to the project module. So if I jump back to project management and accounting and go to all projects and hit that drop down, it's the same as you saw. So you just have to assign a hierarchy to the proper purpose, and it will start showing up in here. Let's just look at a little bit more of how you can filter and adjust the list that you're looking at. So right now we're showing all top level projects, and AX has the capability to have projects with sub projects. So for example, this top level project right here, project 131, if I jump into that, we can see this actually has multiple sub projects underneath it, or we can call it a project structure. So we have a second level and a third level, and then another second level, a third level, and this even has a fourth level, 2 fourth level projects underneath it. So if we jump back, we're only seeing that top level in here because that's what we're telling the system to show is the top level. You can flip it to all, and now we're seeing the explosion of projects here. So second, third, and fourth. There you go. The other option, I'm going to flip this back to top. The other option you have here is the show projects. All are active. So active means anything that's not finished. All means any project, no matter what stage it's in. So over here you can see we flipped it to all, and we're seeing all our finished projects. It adds a lot of overhead to your list, so I always suggest maintaining just the list of active projects. If you want to filter based on the project name, you can. You just type in what you want to see in here, and you can see that it's showing me all projects that start with city. All right, there's the advanced filter, which is cleverly hidden over on the left side. You can expand that, and then you can add criteria to it and filter on whatever field is contained in the underlying data structure or data sources for this list page. So if you wanted to look at financial dimensions, you could. So here's dimension dot whatever the financial dimension is. So I'm sure department's in here. You could filter on projects for a specific department. All right. The other thing to note is that we have all these different tabs up top in the ribbon, or the action pane, we like to call that. So let's just look at it a little bit. The cool part about it is that you can do a lot of actions just from the list page here that a lot of people think you have to do within the details of the project. So if you want to create like a journal associated with this project, you could just go to the project tab, click on an hours journal, and then consume some hours to this specific project. A lot of different setup options under the project tab. The planning tab are all things that are around planning. So if you want to create your project plan or your work breakdown structure, you can do so. You can create item requirements, which are the material that you'll consume for the project, forecasting, budgeting, assigning resources and categories to the project for validation purposes. The management tab is where you can actually go create some business documents, such as a purchase order or sales order or any sort of agreement. You can create an invoice proposal as well, adjust transactions, create on accounts, and on accounts are your prepayments or your milestones for a fixed price project. Also, there's the related information. We'll show you existing business documents. If you go to item tasks, you can see all the purchase orders or et cetera that were created for that specific project that you have highlighted in the list below. So let's jump into the details of a project, and to get into the details, you can click on the hyperlink here, or on the project tab, there's the edit button. But we'll just click on the hyperlink, which brings me into the details. And yeah, so basically I'm just going to condense them all so you can see all the tabs. So we have quite a few tabs in here. I'm just going to call out a few, and we'll get into each of these specific tabs later on within the different courses. But we have the general tab, and general tab is where you set up general settings. You can define who the project manager, controller, sales manager are, and the different dates that you're projecting to start as of or end as of. We have a setup tab, and these are quite a few toggles that we'll talk about later, but if you're going to require activities on a forecast or any sort of transaction, you can toggle those on for the specific project. Those can also default from your project parameters as well. We have financial dimension tab too as well. So these will be the default financial dimensions for your specific project here. So anytime you create a business document or journal, these dimensions will default into those documents or journals. And then when you post, all those dimensions will go through to the actual general ledger based upon the account structure that you have set up in Dynamics AX. So, and then we have report sorting too, and we'll talk about this a little later, but this is similar to financial dimensions, but it only affects the subledger pretty much. So it's just a way of filtering your projects, and you can use those within reports to print specific reports based on report sorting fields as well. Then we have a collaboration workspace. This is where you can hook up SharePoint to AX and basically create a workspace, auto-generate one, I should say, which is, I mean, it'll just create a SharePoint site, and then you can add all your documents or share notes or do whatever you want to do out on SharePoint, and it will just add the URL within AX, and you can link to it from here. If you don't create one or have an existing SharePoint that you want to link to too, you can come up to the collaboration workspace button up on the project tab, and then you can link a collaboration workspace and just type in your URL, and it will show up there as well. So that's what I had to show you around general navigation within AX.